Hello, everyone. My name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of People We Meet on Vacation. This was a film that was not on my radar at all. I'm pretty sure at one point my wife probably told me about it because she's a big reader. This is based on a book by the same name written by Emily Henry. She has this book. It's on her TBR list. It's literally in the room, like down the hall. This one came out on Netflix in January. I'm getting around to reviewing it now because one of our friends, Cami, she wanted me to watch it and review it. So here you go. Hey, Cami, shout out to you. She loves this movie, but I went into this with, frankly, my expectations not being all that high. But by the end of the film, I was actually very, very surprised. But before we go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. And if you like me, like the review, share this video around with any friends or family. It could really help the channel grow, and that would absolutely make my day. So when Cami first asked me to review this, I was like, okay, fine. I guess I will. I'm not really a romantic comedy person. I enjoy all kinds of film. I enjoy all genres of film, but I definitely don't gravitate to romantic comedies. Honestly, I do think most romantic comedies are pretty bad. So I watched the trailer for this film and I thought, okay, this doesn't look as bad as I was expecting it to. And then I watched the film and I was waiting for it to get bad. And then it never did. I'm honestly incredibly shocked that I like this movie as much as I do. I can go ahead and say if romantic comedies are your thing, you probably would absolutely love this film. But the film follows a girl named Poppy and a guy named Alex. Poppy loves to travel and explore the world, while Alex is more comfortable just kind of hanging out at home. These two have very different personalities, but they end up being best friends. And they take vacations together every summer, and we get to see them and their relationship as it develops over the years. In this film, we do bounce back and forth between present day and the past summers. And I think all of that actually works very well. We get just enough present day stuff to make you want to go back and see how we ended up here. And it's been just enough time on each segment that you never get bored at all. You're never just sitting there waiting for them to wrap up this part so we can go ahead and get back to the present day or vice versa. The way they actually do the jumping back and forth offers a very good change of pace. And the pacing throughout the majority of this film is very good. I will say though, I do think that the film is probably a little bit too long. I think you can probably cut about 5 minutes off of the second half of the third act. They do kind of indulge in some of the stuff you would expect from a romantic comedy there, and I feel like they probably could have cut some of that out, helped the film flow a little bit better, helped the film keep up the momentum that it had. But other than that, I do think the pacing was pretty great. It's just that last little bit, some pieces here and there kind of slowed down the momentum as we approach the ending. And I do have to mention this. This is another little kind of pet peeve of mine. Whenever there is a movie adaptation of a book, they do it here. You got the main character narrating the opening and the closing of the film. If you watched my reviews for any amount of time, you know that's something I always call out, and I feel like that is just a little bit lazy. You could find a better way to showcase what you're trying to tell us. And I understand that narration probably is there in the book, but show, don't tell. This whole film does not work if you don't care about the characters. And I think you absolutely care about the characters here. We spend pretty much the whole film with our main characters, Poppy and Alex. All of the side characters really don't have much going on. They don't really have any depth to them, but they do end up taking some of that extra time and put that into developing Poppy and Alex's characters. You really get to know these two at their core. You get to know who they are as people. Both of them are well-developed characters. They change and grow over the course of the film. Poppy is more talkative and more adventurous. Alex is a little bit more introverted. He's quiet, but he can open up to people he feels comfortable with. Both of these characters feel like real people, and that's honestly not at all what I expected from a romantic comedy. Poppy is definitely more of a go with the flow kind of person. She doesn't really get embarrassed easily. But deep down, she's afraid she'll come across too strong to people. And I feel like I could definitely be friends with Alex. Like him, I'm definitely somebody who wants things to be clean and organized and have a plan for everything. So great work by the screenplay, great work by the author for having these two characters just feel so real. Their chemistry is great. Part of that is the performance, and I'll get to that in a bit, but it's also on the writing too. Even though these two have very different personalities, you 100% believe that these two would be best friends. And honestly, I think one of the best compliments I could give this film is that you just enjoy spending time with these characters. You enjoy watching these two characters spend time together. You enjoy their conversations and their adventures. You care about them and their friendship. You learn early on in the film that in the present day, their relationship is strained, and you end up wanting to know what happened. You get invested with these characters pretty quickly, and you care about their struggles. They also put Poppy and Alex in situations where they are forced to make decisions, and these decisions have an impact on the story and on their relationship. Their choices in this film push the story forward, and that's exactly what I want. In a weird way, this film kind of reminds me a little bit of The Holdovers. It was a film I reviewed probably a couple years ago. I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorites of the year for that year. And it was a story where you just got to know this group of characters and you wanted to spend more time with them. And that's exactly how I felt here. I think a lot of the humor in this film does work for me. Got a few laughs out of me. Not all of it works, but I would say there's more humor that works for me than doesn't. Now, of course, there are a few things that aren't quite as successful. First, I will say this is still leaning positive a little bit, but I will say that this film does definitely lean into some of the romantic comedy cliches. I was definitely able to predict every single beat of this film, but they still execute on the cliches well. So even though you do know where it's going, it is still done well. One thing that I can even take a little bit further that definitely is a negative is there's a few times in this film where literally word for word, I could predict what the character was going to say. So that's not necessarily great. And of course, in a perfect world, I would love for some of these side characters to have just a little bit more depth, make them more than just one-dimensional. And also, yes, talking about cliches, you get the kind of stereotypical soft piano romantic comedy music coming in at the right times. And I'll think in my mind when I was watching the film, all right, the music's going to start right here. And it did. So some of the cliches do work because they are executed well, but I would definitely like to avoid cliches if at all possible, and I definitely think it was possible to avoid them here. I guess I could say the cinematography is a bit basic. It's really nothing special to it. I would have loved for the cinematography to tie into the storytelling a little bit more, but as a whole, it just gets the job done. The other part of the reason why these characters work as good as they do is because of Emily Bader and Tom Blythe's performances. I've not seen them in anything until this, but I feel like they completely took what the script gave them and ran with it. They both added a lot of life to these characters and made them feel like real people. Someone else could have taken Poppy, made her a little bit more over the top, and in turn probably would have made her character a little bit annoying, but Emily Bader never let her come across that way. And somebody else could have taken Alex's character and made him just more of a bland and boring character. Tom Blythe gave a performance of an introvert with some depth to him. Everyone else in this film does a fine job, but it's really Emily Bader and Tom Blythe who carry this film, and they do a great job with it. One last thing that I do really appreciate is that they shot on location. So they really went to Louisiana. They really went to Barcelona. And you can tell the locations are really beautiful. They had some really beautiful places to shoot. And them being on location actually does add a lot. So overall, I really was surprised that I liked this film as much as I did. I went into it expecting to, it be fine to not great, but I ended up really enjoying it. Yes, it leaned into the cliches, and I predicted every single beat of this film, even down to some of the lines. The pacing does get thrown off a bit as we approach the end, but what really carries this film is the characters. Alex and Poppy have a lot of depth to their characters. They feel like real people, and you enjoy spending time with these characters. You get invested in their lives and their struggles, their relationship. Honestly, I 100% get why Cami enjoys this film. If you love romantic comedies, I honestly think you will absolutely love this movie. And I'm incredibly surprised to say I'm going to give People We Meet on Vacation a 4 out of 5. But that's it. That's my review of People We Meet on Vacation. Have you seen this film? Let me know what you thought in the comments section down below. I would absolutely love to have a conversation with you about it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. You can follow me on social media pretty much anywhere at CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.